Maryland Eastern Shore, one game away from clinching its third NCAA championship. Fairleigh-Dickinson must win this game to stay alive. Megan Kelly will lead things off for the Knights. Not normally a starter, but she has remained the leadoff bowler for Fairleigh-Dickinson here in this championship. And she strikes. No room for error for Fairleigh-Dickinson.
Good shot. She seems to have moved right on that left lane. She gets great results.
Brianna Carlo has been inserted into the lineup. She is replacing sophomore Michelle Hunziker. So we're going to see Carlo next for Fairleigh-Dickinson after we watch Paula Villas for Maryland Eastern Shore. Carlo has been bowling all weekend. However, there she is. She was leading off earlier this weekend. Now inserted into the 2 spot. Villas begging that ball to turn. It does, and she gets a strike. Villas matches Megan Kelly's strike.
Can't ask for a better leadoff bowler than Paula.
You know, she really sets the tone to me, Carolina. That's so cliche, but in this case, it absolutely is true.
And it's absolutely necessary.
Here's our first look at Brianna Carlo, the junior from Dumont, New Jersey. Season high of 235 this year. She bowled leadoff yesterday. She was the player we saw warming up in the last game with Lisa Frigioni. Averaged just over 183 in Thursday's qualifier. Thursday, the teams bowled 5 games. That was to establish the seeding for the bracket play, which began yesterday, and then it was a double elimination tournament. Fairleigh-Dickinson came out of the losers bracket, so they had to beat Vanderbilt earlier today. It went 7 games, and now they're back tonight in this championship. A lot of bowling for the Knights, who have never lost a championship match. Each time they've advanced this far, they've won it. In 06 and 2 years ago. Carlo picks up the spare. So a good substitution, as it'll be Megan Bouja's turn. Bouja and Villas have gone back-to-back strikes in a couple of games so far.
Go, ladies. Swinging.
No one better up there. No one better. Stop it, Megan. Stop it. Trust it.
This would be huge if she can strike. And she does. Maryland Eastern Shore grabbing a tiny bit of momentum here in what they hope is the final game of this match.
Looks like she threw that one just a little bit harder, had amped up her ball speed just a little bit more direct, and gets the trip 4 for the early double.
Is that adrenaline or is that a planned move?
I think it's a planned move. I think they have to increase their ball speed. I think the lanes are breaking down, and the further left they go, they haven't had great ball reaction. So instead of making that move, just increase your ball speed a little bit, get the ball down the lane a little bit further before it makes that turn to the head pin.
Here's Wiesenfeld's first shot. She leaves the 10 pin. She has 4 years of eligibility after spending those 2 years of military service in Israel. Spent her service in the military there bowling for the nation, and picks up the spare.
One of the things that's very impressive with collegiate bowling, and you're seeing it more even at the high school level, because of the training and the coaching that the bowlers are getting, both male and female, is very rarely do you see anybody fall off a shot. I mean, these girls right here, their form, whether they hook it or throw it straight or a left-hander or right-handed, when they get to the foul line, they are rock solid. Their leverage, their drive into the line is what makes them so competitive.
Ramirez with a strike. 3 straight strikes for Maryland Eastern Shore. And when they start a game off with 3 strikes, they haven't lost yet tonight.
This is a perfect shot. Her last few shots haven't been as good, but this one, the one they needed to start that triple, rock solid.
So back to your point, Carolyn, I guess you're saying if you're teaching bowling, this is a pretty good representation of what you would teach young bowlers.
Oh my God, I take my daughter to watch the college bowling when it's in Texas all the time, in Fort Worth and Dallas. She just loves it. I think it's a great training tool. I mean, they're class acts. They're great students. I honestly, if there's a role model I want to choose for my daughter, it's these girls out here tonight.
Here's Jolie Carrillo, who has a 3.5 GPA and nursing, gets the strike. It's Fairleigh-Dickinson chasing Maryland Eastern Shore, a must-win game, and you can see the desperation in Carrillo's face. The heart and soul of this team, Mike Lepresti told us. And now Mariana Alvarado, just a freshman. That's going to be a tough one. But I want to point out, in case this is one of the last times we see Alvarado, you mentioned aerospace engineering as a major. It's Alvarado. She has a 3.7 GPA in aerospace engineering.
That's ridiculous. It's impressive. I thought it was a really good shot off her hand, comes in light pocket and does not get a break.
Yes, oh no.
See, come on, really? I agree with her on that one. That was a great shot.
So the open frame opens the door ever so slightly for Fairleigh-Dickinson now as the drama continues. Maryland Eastern Shore trying to make this the last game of the match. Fairleigh-Dickinson trying to keep it going. Danielle McEwen, the National Bowler of the Year. She's maintained a traditional game average this year of just about 211. Here's what she's done tonight. She's come on strong the last 2 games. And picks up the strike here in the 5th.
And she has shown a little reaction on that shot. So she means business.
We hadn't seen a lot from her emotionally. And that was, this is her fired up. That's a very fired up Danielle McEwen, one of the elite bowlers in the country. Anchor time for Maryland Eastern Shore, Tinia Falbo, who's been rock solid herself. Love the intensity in her stare as she prepares to shoot. Got it. No challenge has been too big for Falbo tonight. It is a very tight 5th game, one that Maryland Eastern Shore needs to win to clinch the national championship.
Gruden's Cube.
Another women's college championship coming up. It's the women's gymnastics NCAA championship, live at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday, May 2nd on ESPNU. For more information, visit NCAA.com, your home for all 89 NCAA championships. this the Women's Bowling Championship. Maryland Eastern Shore can win it all if they can win this game. Fairleigh-Dickinson, top of the 6th frame, being led off by Megan Kelly, trying to stay alive with a slight lead. She's going to need that for a spare. The one open frame has been the big opening for Fairleigh-Dickinson. They don't want to give it back. Maryland Eastern Shore had an open frame earlier in this game, which has been a rarity for the Lady Hawks. Kelly can't pick it up. An open frame for Fairleigh-Dickinson. How big is that?
Now in the 6th frame is really not when you want an open frame. I know she didn't do it on purpose by all means, but it seems like her ball speed's just a little bit too slow. Getting out of it real clean. Ball's reading a little early, went high, but she did the right thing. She got the 2 pins, which at that point, because that split is not makeable, she needs to get the wood, and the next bowler needs to start that team off.
And this is miss momentum for Maryland Eastern Shore, Paula Villas. She couldn't get it to curve back.
That shot right there is all adrenaline. She hasn't really missed. She's been right on target. She missed way right, kind of lifted out of it right at the end. You could see her upper body go up straight. Not a good shot. She needs to get 2 and hope she sends the pin over to the side.
No open frames for her tonight. Look at all those strikes in the 1st frame of each game. It's exactly what you want your leadoff bowler to be doing. That's why Christina Fromm's put her in that leadoff spot. And lucky to get that 2nd one to go down. So another open frame. Maybe the nerves playing a factor for both teams here.
The key is you cannot make the ball strike. The ball has to do it on its own. The only thing you can do is continue to do what you've been doing for the past games. Mentally get up there, take a deep breath, and make the best shot you can. If you leave a spare, fill the frame. We've talked about it all night. This right here is an example of the adrenaline. I mean, we do. We all want to win, and we just want to get it over with. But you know what? Sometimes you just got to remember 1 frame at a time.
We are tied heading into the 7th. Here's Brianna Carlo with a strike. Off the bench strike for Carlo. Spare in her 1st turn, a strike now, putting the pressure over on Buja. And she answers. Standing up to pressure.
Great shot. She definitely has upped her ball speed there, and it has been picture perfect, her last 2 shots. We are neck and neck, and this is going frame by frame.
All even heading into the 8th. Leah Wiesenfeld. It's her turn. And she strikes. A fierce, intense competitor, said Mike LaPresti about Wiesenfeld. Here's an example of that.
Great shot. Cut down her angle just a little bit, and it does look like they're throwing it just a little bit harder, a little bit straighter through the front. The ball conserving energy and kicking out that 10 finally.
Angie Ramirez trying to keep pace with Fairleigh-Dickinson. Gone into the last 2 frames tied. She had a strike in frame 3 of this game. Needs another here to keep the score tied. She'll have that for a spare.
Missed way right. Leaves the 2-7. Very spareable. Very spareable. Adding some tape to the ball.
What does that do?
Makes the thumb hole a little bit tighter, makes it a little more snug so you can have, you know, a better feel, better grip. And now when the adrenaline is setting in, you tend to shrink a little bit. You're nervous, you're maybe sweating a little bit more, so you want to make sure you have a good feel in that ball. Not that I've been there before or have been nervous by
or
all
felt
means,
that,
but
yeah.
I never.
Ramirez needing the spare. And does not get it. Uh-oh. We may be heading to game 6. The final 2 frames will decide it. Jolie Carrillo, who you've been very impressed with tonight, Carolyn. Look at this scorecard.
She's been steady Eddie. She had that light hit going. Every time she hit light, firm at the line, she got the mix. She's the one that you need to read ball reaction off of. She has been the most consistent.
Another strike. Jolie Carrillo in her final match as a collegiate bowler is coming up huge. She doesn't want it to end. Alvarado for Eastern Shore. And she strikes. Maryland Eastern Shore still alive. So the anchors will decide this game and possibly the championship. The NCAA Bowler of the Year, Danielle McEwen, up for the final frame. She's had 5 strikes in her last 2 final frames. Calmly picks up another one.
That's a winner. We are on to another game.
So that'll clinch it for Fairleigh-Dickinson as the must-win game is won by the Knights. But again, this is the better lane for Maryland Eastern Shore. So Fairleigh-Dickinson is going to have to come up big again. They're still facing elimination in the next game. McEwen's going to bowl this one out. One more shot. So that'll wrap it up. Fairleigh-Dickinson stays alive in the championship, but still facing pressure as Maryland Eastern Shore will try to win it in Game 6.